Hello, 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 everybody. Good to see you. We are here live today with an amazing guest. I'm truly, truly, truly excited to have you here. And I am going to share my screen in a second so that you guys can see the amazing PowerPoint. And then I'm going to introduce the amazing guest speaker that I've got today line up for you. How exciting! So we're going to go live on Facebook in a second as well. My virtual assistant will actually help me out with that, which is great news. And I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And we are going to talk about business. We're going to talk about how you can get your business to the next level. We're going to talk about problems and mistakes that we have had in business and how we have solved them so that hopefully you can do it that way as well. Now, my VA just tell me that I can go on live, and I usually can, but it's not letting me this time. So I don't know how I can go live on Facebook, but maybe you can do it from your end, Tina. Let me know, because it doesn't let me on this live this time. Usually it does. Okay, in the meantime that my Tina works this out, I wanted to let you all know that your business is a 3D printer of your thoughts. And the guest speaker tonight is the amazing Sam Bowker, and she's going to introduce herself and put her video up in a second so that you can get to know her and you can see how amazing this gorgeous woman is and how much her business has exploded in her since she's joined the academy, and we are working on that. So we are connecting on Facebook as well. So we're going to be live on the Facebook as well as we're doing this. So Sam, whenever you're ready, you can put your video up. There we go. Start the video for you, and we're going to be able to see you. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Francesca?
I am great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming along and spending the evening with us tonight. We've got lots of beautiful people here tonight watching, and be very excited. So, Sam, can you introduce yourself and your business, please?
Sure. Okay. So my name's Sam Bowker, and I run a practice on the central coast of New South Wales called Happy You Headquarters. And I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a master coach, NLP practitioner, and essentially I just help people really get out of their own way so they can live their best life. So I get to do that here in my practice every day, which is pretty awesome. And now I'm getting to do a lot of it online thanks to the changes that I've made in my business recently.
I love it. That's amazing. How long have you been in business, Sam? How many people have you helped so far?
So I'm up to about 1,580 people that I've worked with personally over the last 5 years.
Wow.
Actually, that's not including my group. So no, actually, we're probably hitting closer to about 2,000 at this point. Those people were more one-on-one consultations. However, I started the business on the 15th of August 2015. So we're, like 5 years. 5 years.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's so awesome. Now, everybody watching this, we will love you guys to let us know where are you watching from, and if you have done any personal development in your life. Sam and I would both strongly believe that your business is a 3D printer of your thoughts. So we're going to talk quite a lot about that today. And this is some of the things that Sam has achieved in her business. And, as I did it, Sam did it, everybody can. Do you believe that? Do you agree in that?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. If I look back now just on over the last kind of 5 years, and even just the last 12 months, it's been insane, the growth in my business since joining the academy, for sure.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000,000%. I love it. Now, Sam, before we move on and chatting about the mistakes that you have made in the business so that people can avoid them, I would like to let everybody know, and I'm not seeing anybody comment in the chat. You guys, if you watch something like that and you're not participating, you are gonna miss out on a lot of information. You're gonna miss out on being present in here. So go ahead in the Zoom chat or in Facebook, tell us where are you watching from and what do you do in your business. We would love to hear from you, and you'll see we're live. We want to be able to chat with you and interact with you. So go ahead and tell us. In the meantime, I'll tell you what to expect in the next 60 minutes, especially if you get a chance to ask questions with us, but we would love you to be active and chatting with us. So we're going to show you how to leverage on your social media without paying for any business. They have to jump and pay for advertising. but we don't. We do things organically, and we're going to show you how we did it. How to let go of fears of being seen on social media and just be yourself. Mabel, you're a musician. Mabel, where are you watching from? Everybody, tell us. We got you here. Tell us where are you watching from? How to why your path to success is different from everybody else, and how to stand out in business and have clients come to you, and stop chasing people. You don't need to chase people, just let people come to you. Mabel is from Sydney. We got Michelle from Mackay. I love it. I used to live in Clunston, Michelle, so we're sort of neighbors. I help clients transform their life and phobias using hypnosis. So you're gonna love Sam, that's for sure. Julia is natural health is my gag. Yoga, veganism, and philosophy. And where are you from, Julia? We got Michelle. The link is in the email. Didn't work. Oh no, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. I'm glad that you made it though. Does this sound like you? Are you confused about right or wrong way to use Facebook? Are you struggling to convert your clients from social media posts? Or do you feel like you're not reaching out anybody on social media? It's like, hello, is anybody there? Well, if any of this is true and you don't know how to bring people to your workshop, and you don't know how to put content out there, and you're constantly struggling with your marketing funnel, then today we're going to cover a lot of this stuff. Carol is from Melbourne, and you have an online jewelry store. I love it. So you guys, you are in the right place, and we're going to go through the 5 mistakes that Sam has made in business and how she has fixed them. So Sam, the first thing that you have covered is hiding behind a business. Tell us more.
Okay, so I've been in business on and off for myself over the last 20 years, and I've always hidden behind a brand. So I've had Happy UHQ, which is my current business. I've got Central Coast Modern Hypnosis. I've worked in real estate businesses. I've had Keyway coaching. I've done all these different things, and I never would put my name to my brand. So I would always kind of like hide behind that brand. I was always afraid that, to actually just, I guess, put myself out there. And it really probably took me coming to you. I mean, when I first became a clinical hypnotherapist, my coach and my trainer said to me, call your business Sam Bowker Coaching. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to call it Happy UHQ and Central Coast Modern Hypnosis. And I guess at the time, I didn't really understand why I had such an aversion to doing it. But I had every excuse under the sun as to why I didn't want to do it. It was like, no, it's not about me. I want to make it about them. The name's not good. I don't know. There was a whole bunch of stories. But working with you over the last 12 months, I've realized that actually the reason that I didn't want to use my name was for fear. Fear of being judged, fear of not being liked, fear of being seen, fear of showing up. And I realized over the last 5 years, now I back myself. Like, I know I'm really good at what I do. But when I started, I obviously didn't have the experience. And there was that part of me that was afraid, like, what if I fail? And if I fail and I fail as Sam Bowker, now I'm wrong. And like, it's me that's actually failed. Whereas if Happy UHQ fails or Central Coast Modern Hypnosis fails, it doesn't really matter, right? Because nobody even really knows that it's me. And so
I love that, Sam. That's so huge. How many people are there are the same, right? We just hide behind the branding name. That's such a good mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the awareness of it as well, to like, now that I'm aware that that's the case, and I really kind of stepped up 12 months ago and I started using my name, I realized that people don't come to see Happy UHQ. They don't come to see Central Coast Modern Hypnosis. The reason I am successful is because of me. When people write reviews, they don't write reviews about Happy U or CCMH, they write them about me. So
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, it's this ridiculous thing but it took me actually having somebody like you say to me, no, you have to put your name out there. No, you have to do a live. You have to tell people on your personal page. And I was like, no, and I was crying and I was devastated, but it was the best decision that I have ever made. So
I love that. Yeah. That is so beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because I'm sure that there's people listening to this and going, why have I done that? And our brain is so good at making excuses, right? And we believe them. Like, yeah, that's a really good case. Yeah, we're going to believe that. We're going to
Yes.
hold to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Oh, we're the best. We can convince ourselves of the sky being black when it's blue, like, and
Yeah.
believe it.
It's
Yeah.
so true. And imagine that, you've done so much personal development. Imagine people that don't do that, right? So what would be your suggestion for someone that hasn't done much personal development, or even if they have, because we get stuck as well, right? How do
Yep.
you uncover that brain that is tricking you? How do you do it?
So I guess I've surrounded myself with a lot of good mentors. Like, I've got coaches, but I definitely also listen to a lot of podcasts, and I really I ask myself a lot of questions about what I want, and then I ask myself, why haven't I done it yet? So I've got journal upon journal upon journal of my
Mm.
wish list, and I go back and I reassess, and I ask the question, why haven't I done it? And when I realize that there's something I want that I haven't achieved, I really dig down and keep going, yeah, but why? But why? But why? But why? Because I'll uncover it. Sooner or later, the answer will come up,
I love that so much. When I was little, I used to do that to my mom and dad. They used to hate it. But I was like, okay, I can't go out. Why? And they were like, because I say so. That's not an answer. Tell me why. And I
Yeah.
kept digging for it. And
Yeah.
it can be really annoying, but it actually got me success, right?
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, wait until you have kids, Francesca, because the thing is, like, my daughter is exactly like that, and it's but why, but why? And when you realize it's actually a really good skill,
Mm.
but children actually get taught to not do it at a young age, which is why as adults we stop asking ourselves. We go, I don't want to do that. Oh, because it's not about me, and we stop and we think that's actually the answer.
It's a good answer.
Not,
Good enough. I got an answer. I
I
can
got an
take it.
answer. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so you actually have to, as an adult, unprogram yourself and go back to being a kid and start responding and reacting to yourself as though you are a 6-year-old. But why? But why? Until you get to the limiting belief, right? Which is, I didn't want to be seen. I
Isn't
didn't want
that
to fail
beautiful?
as me.
It's so beautiful. Then now you got to the core of it and you go, oh, that was such a good excuse. Love that. And I
Cracking
use it.
excuse. Yeah, served me well.
We all have it. Like, I was saying that about like my business. I didn't want to grow it any further. And I was saying, I don't need millions. I'm good with 1 million. Why do I have to have millions? It's okay. And then I realized that I was shitting myself. I got here. Keep me here. I'm fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
now if I lose
absolutely.
everything, everybody's going to see it because now I'm successful, right?
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
dig. You
Got to
gotta
dig.
dig. So are
Yeah.
you guys watching this? Are you digging? Are you asking yourself those questions that nobody wants to really ask, right? And the other question that I ask myself, Sam, and tell me if you do, one of them is for me is like, what if I did it? Or what if the opposite was true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, one of the things that comes up a lot in my sessions with people is they'll say, but what if this happens? And I go, yeah, but what if it doesn't?
mm,
And what if I do this? But what if you did?
mm,
I just worked with a 15-year-old, and she was telling me, everything was bad. And I went, everything?
mm.
Everything is bad. Is it okay? And then tell me what everything is. And she couldn't come up with everything because
Two
everything
things,
isn't
right?
bad, right? So then
Yeah.
it was like, okay, well, just today, all I want you to do is I want you to find one good thing and one bad thing. So at least I know she's going to come up with at least one thing that's good.
Mm.
Directing ourselves to actually seek out what it is that we want, not what we don't want, right?
Yeah. Sam, what do you think people start a business and they don't work on the mindset around the business?
I actually think that people don't understand, like, we're not educated in school at the power of our mindset, for starters. It's just not in the curriculum. It's becoming more and more, emotional intelligence is something that people are starting to spend time thinking about, but it's really not been in the curriculum. So if you're, aged between 20 and above at this point, you really have not been educated around mindset. So unless you've been, you've had a parent or someone who's been involved in personal development. My dad got me into things when I was pretty young. But if you haven't had that experience, you don't actually understand, because you've grown up in a world where people talk about mindset and mental health, for instance, like anxiety and depression, as being a disease that
Mm.
you need medication for. So we've grown up in this world where people don't actually understand the power of their mind. And then people go and start a business because they like the idea of potentially working their own hours, being their own boss, doing things their own way. They've got no education on how to actually do those things. And because they've never actually learned any coping mechanisms or resilience skills at school, they then go and open a business and they fall apart because they've got none of these skills. And they, like this kid today, as an example, to bring her back in again, she's kind of going, yeah, but school's so pointless, it's no good, it's dumb, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, yeah, but what if you just forgot about the fact that the stuff that you're learning is irrelevant and learned to deal with the fact that you're in an uncomfortable situation and you built the resilience to deal with that situation? That's the skill set that you're learning. Not any of the education, but the skill set of dealing with something that's tough. So I think people don't know how to work on their mindset. It's becoming more spoken about, but it's just, if you don't know what you don't know, right?
It's so true. And I just love, like, everything that I'm doing in my academy is like working on mindset, even with mindset coaches, because we don't do that enough, right?
No, that's absolutely right. And then it's like, a chef often doesn't look after their own kitchen.
Yeah.
The mechanic doesn't look after his own car, and we work on this stuff. And often it's when you're coaching people, you learn just as much from them as you are giving them. And you then walk away and go, oh, trigger, got to work on that for myself now.
1,000,000%. I remember when I first started doing life coaching, I was like, why am I attracting clients that've got my same problem? Like, I can't help them if I'm in the pool with them, right? If I've got the same problem. And then eventually I learned that it's the opposite. It's the reason why they're coming to me is because I have to work on it. And as I'm teaching them, I'm working on it.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. And so, when you talk about the business being a 3D print out of your thoughts, it's so funny because every single day when I come into work, the clients that I see, they absolutely are a print out of my thoughts. And I get to go, right, okay, so that's what I have to work on at the moment. I mean, it's really quick, right? That's why I don't need a therapist, because at the moment I've got that, but I have a coach to help me get through that. So
I love it. That is so true. You guys, as you watch this, tell us if you resonate with it. Now, part of the things that we do in the Mafia is that we teach people how to go from invisible to invincible. So Sam, when you first started in Facebook, where were you from invisible to invincible?
Really, even though I was probably somewhere between invisible and active.
Yeah.
I'd spent a lot of money on Facebook advertising. I had consistently spent $600 a month at least on Facebook advertising for the entire first 4 years of my practice.
Wow.
That was pretty much how I built my business, was through that. And I was posting intermittently. I had business pages and I had some groups, but I wasn't really doing much with them.
Wow, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people don't realize, is that there is a way to make this happen, and start from invisible. It's okay. You can still get yourself out there. So let's go to the second mistake, is not paying attention to my numbers. Tell me more.
So numbers, I guess, is something that I had a limiting belief that I'm very conscious of now, that I am dumb. I'm dumb, I'm no good with maths, I'm no good with numbers. And so because of that, pretty much since I started my business, in the for the first 3 years, I didn't really look at anything. And I was making money. I was pretty fortunate that I hit the ground running and I did do well from the start.
Yeah.
However, I didn't really know how well I was doing. I didn't know, what money I was spending. Like, I didn't know at the end of each month. Some month there was money in the account, some month there wasn't. And I had no idea. And I didn't stress about things. Like, I wouldn't look at what was happening next week until next week happened. So I would get to next week and I would go, I've only got 4 clients. And I needed to have 25 clients, right? And so I didn't follow that process. I didn't understand. I was very reactive. I wasn't proactive. And so there was those kind of numbers from a financial standpoint, but there was also the numbers of, how many times people came, what was the average spend of a client, when did they come back, did I follow them up, all of that kind of stuff. I didn't manage that or handle it at all, pretty much for the first 4 years. And I guess through, I don't know, the grace of God, some good luck, my angels, the universe, whatever you want to say, I've been pretty fortunate. And I do back myself. I know I am good at what I do. However, when I look at people like you who've been in business the same amount of time, if I was to define my success based on finances, which I don't, but I do define it on how many people I help. If I was to measure myself against someone like you, then I could go into a state of, oh my God, if I just, did this, and if I'd done that, and if I'd watched that, and if I'd paid attention to that, I probably would be more in the millions versus, the hundreds of thousands. So, there's definitely something to be said for paying attention to the numbers, which I do now, not as much as I want to, but I'm definitely getting a lot better.
Yeah. And you know what is fascinating is like a lot of people do that. Don't do that. Don't look at numbers. And I'm one of them. I had just a good accountant that was kicking my butt and going, you need to know your numbers. I'm like, oh, I hate it. And still now, Sam, I get caught out from accountants when they ask me a question. I go, I don't know that number. I can go all these numbers, but not that one. Like, you need to know that one. I'm like, another one to know. And so then I just keep learning as the business grows, and there's more numbers to learn and more things to know. Because as business owners, do you believe that we have that excuse of going, I'm creative, I'm not good at numbers?
100%. And when you just talked about the fact that you had your accountant dealing with things, in my business, like I've always had this belief, I can't remember, I was trying to think of the name of this book, but I read this book some years ago, I think it was called The E-Myth, and it was all about you're a technician, an entrepreneur, a manager, and I'm like, I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the ideas person. I'm the one that has all these great ideas. And so, I've always had a business partner who's run the numbers and always wanted me to get into the numbers. He's managed my accounts. He's managed my books. Like I've never even, I don't even have meetings with my accountants. And just the other day I had a meeting with my accountant and I said, listen, we need to get serious. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to make. This is what I want to buy. You need to show me how I'm going to do this. So you need to tell me what I need to give you so that I know do you know what I mean? And it was the first, like, as a 45-year-old woman, I'm like, I'm growing up. I had a meeting with my accountant. I'm actually getting serious about this now. So now it's going to happen,
I love it. That is so good. I remember one of the meetings with my accountant that was like, all right, you're now making 25,000 a month quite consistently. And I was like, okay, do I need adult supervision now?
Yeah. Totally adult supervision at that point.
Right? Isn't it fascinating how our brain just doesn't believe that we are adults yet, doesn't believe that we know this stuff. But the thing is, nobody knows. We just work it out as we go. Like when you get a kid, I mean, I don't have kids, but I'm sure that there's no manual that go with it.
I didn't get mine, that's for certain. I actually just with this lady, I said, because she was talking about how she's got 3 kids, and she said, the first one, I know all the mistakes I made. The second one, I'm trying to fix those mistakes. And I said, and the third one, you'll get it right. And I said, and the good news for me, I only have 1 kid, but I have clients like you. So I'm learning from you, right? Because that's what we have to do. There's certainly no manual.
Yeah.
Anyone here that has kids knows what I'm talking about, right?
I know, right? If you guys got kids, tell us, talk to us, tell us if we resonate. So Holly and Adriana say yes. Say hi. Hi, gorgeous girls. Good to see you. I love it. All right, we're going to go to the next one, which was, here we go. Generic Facebook posting with no photos. Tell me more about that.
So this comes back to the whole thing about not being seen again. So for a long time, before I met you, I really, I started a social media account years ago because I never was a very social media kind of person, even just on a personal level. And I started my social media account years ago because I knew I was going to start business, and I knew that it was a good idea to have an account. And that was it. I didn't think much more about it. And I always used to look at people that would post things about what they had for lunch and the sunrise and whatever, and be like, why are you sharing this stuff? Who cares? Like, who's got time to read any of this stuff? Anyway, so when I looked at, starting to become a bit more, I guess, seen on Facebook, I was still doing it through my business pages. And I would put up, because I like positive memes and inspirational quotes, and I always get my inbox flooded with things like that, and I liked reading them. And so I started creating my own, right? And I'd put my little brand on the bottom, Happy UHQ, but I would just put them in my brand colors, and I wouldn't put any photo, and I wouldn't write anything. I would just kind of like blast these things out. And thought I was so clever. I had them all scheduled, and every single day a post would go out with a positive meme, and I thought I was killing it. And then I realized that that wasn't really what the key was. I really needed to get engagement, and people weren't going to engage with a faceless post, because why would they? They would go, it's cute, and they might, if it was a really good quote, they might share it with someone, but still, once again, like whatever, it's just a brand. And so I think that I realised, well, I didn't realise by myself. I realised by coming to the Mafia, kicking and screaming, I might add, with what you made me do. And that was that really, if I didn't put a post with a photo or something relevant, it really was not going to get any engagement. And so once I started working with Francesca in the Mafia, and she started making me do posts with photos and making me do lives where I actually got on and spoke, I realized that that was where I got the engagement. And instead of having 1 like or 5 likes, it started going to 15 likes and 20 likes and 100 likes, and people were sharing the posts. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. All just because I would put a photo. And like, I had to realize that I had to let go of it being about me, because I kept thinking that by putting a photo of me up there, I was being like a wanker and going, oh, look at me. But actually what that did was it let people in, and that's what they wanted, was they wanted to be a part of that. So I realized that it was the opposite way around. I was making it about me by not putting photos of me, and by putting photos of me, I was making it about them. So it's like, whatever you're doing, it's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. It doesn't it doesn't, on a conscious level, my brain couldn't wrap around it. I had to do it to get it, and I couldn't and wouldn't have done it without being coached and pushed off the ledge. It was like being pushed out of the baby bird nest. I had to get pushed out.
I love that. People say that all the time. I don't want to make it about me. I'm like, well, actually putting a photo of you is not making it about you. And they're like, what?
Counterintuitive. Your brain doesn't get it, because when you are looking at people that are not building a business but have a personal profile and are doing that, they are making it about them. And I think that that's what social media, for me, that's what social media started as. It started as this thing that I saw people that wanted to just put their life out there and make it look like they were having such a great time. And they didn't have a business. It was just personal. And that
for significance, right?
Yeah, significance. That's exactly right. And that really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. But the thing is, what's fascinating that I've said that a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they come through and they're like, I don't want to make it about me. I'm like, why are you looking at other people and comparing yourself with other people? Like, let them do whatever they want. If they want to drive this by significance, that's fine. But why don't you use your social media to actually truly connect with your clients rather than comparing yourself with other people? Who cares what they're doing, right?
Yep. Comparison, good old thief of joy. But hey, we're humans, we're mammals. It's an innate trait, unfortunately.
It is, isn't it? And so if there's someone watching now and they're thinking, I don't want to put my face out there, what would you tell them?
Well, I guess the question I would ask, as opposed to tell, I would probably ask them, what is their mission? If their mission is to build a brand, if their mission is to impact people, if their mission is to grow a following, create a tribe, if their mission is to do something bigger than themselves, the only way that I know on social media that you're going to do that successfully is if you put yourself out there. And you're going to have to let go of the inner critic that is telling you that your ego is too big and that you're dumb and people might laugh at you. And hey, you're going to get the haters. Until you've had your first hater on Facebook, you haven't made it. So like, really, that should be a goal, to get a hater or two. But I would absolutely say it's an inevitable part of, if you want to run a successful business. It's people, look at Richard Branson. Richard Branson is a brand, and he has all this Virgin, that. He doesn't even own any of those things. But the reason that Richard Branson is so successful is because he's the face of Virgin, and people all know who Richard Branson is. You wouldn't know the millions of businesses that are owned, but you know who he is. Everyone knows who he is.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yep.
That is the total point. And a lot of people miss that because they are thinking that are not making it about them, but it's so important that, you know, there's people out there that need you. And if you don't show up, they're not going to know that you're there.
That's exactly right.
Exactly right. All right, we're going to go to the next mistake. I hope you guys are enjoying this because I'm finding it so much value from it. And I am part of this, right? So imagine, hopefully you guys are getting value as well. Short lives on Facebook versus long lives. Tell me more.
Okay, so this one was something that I've got a lot of people around me that are very smart and very educated, and a very dear friend of mine who is very, very high up in, I guess, digital marketing space, but on a different level. She said to me, she always said to me, you know, like with lives, don't do anything longer than 2 minutes. People have only got a short attention span. You know, anything longer than 2 minutes, people don't pay attention, blah, 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 blah. And that landed for me because I'm that person. Right? I don't watch hour-long lives. I don't watch 10. I don't have time. I'm not interested in it, right? But once again, I realized that, you know, after speaking with you, once I understood the algorithm through Facebook, and that when you do a live on Facebook, what Facebook cares about is they care about you providing content for Facebook. So once I understood that Facebook was a platform like that, I realized that if I only do 2-minute lives, Facebook can't blast it out and get it to anyone. If I only do 2 minutes, they go, she's not adding value, so we're not going to share your stuff. And so I started doing a longer form of you know, post, obviously based on the fact that you would explain this to me. And it was really uncomfortable. I have to be truthful to start with, you know, getting on and rambling, even though obviously I don't struggle to talk, getting on and talking to a computer with people that I don't know, and it's kind of feels faceless, and you're out there in the big wide world. I felt really kind of, I just felt dumb. And I was like, what can I offer? My inner critic kid kicked in. And I was like, what value can I offer? How can I possibly speak this long? Who's watching? Who's listening? Because I was making it about me. And once I kind of went, okay, well, you know, I've invested money in this lady. She's my coach. If I'm going to pay and go and see someone and then not take their advice, then that's dumb. So I'm just going to do what I'm told. So I just did what I was told. And of course, it worked. I started doing 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute lives. And all of a sudden, instead of, you know, one person, 2 people watching, I'd have 15 people watching. And the thing is that then people would comment on it and then they would share it. And so then this one video that I did, you know, I mean, I did a thing for someone 3 weeks ago in someone else's group, and someone's just booked onto a half-day workshop tomorrow that I'm running from this, sends me a message. Hey, I saw this thing that you did on somewhere else at some other point, and I just watched it and it was really amazing, and can I come to your workshop? I've never heard of this person, I've never met this person, and they're now coming to my workshop tomorrow. So short lives versus long lives. If you're going to do a live, really, and it's with the intention of building your brand, if you aren't staying on for at least 7.5 minutes longer, you're wasting your time, and it really is then just you making it about you. So yeah, you know, and I do just get on and ramble sometimes because that's what's going on, but other times I get on and I've got something useful to say. So.
I know, right? But the thing is, that's where people get to know us, the real us, instead of getting to know a 2-minute promotional video. Nobody wants to see that anymore nowadays. People want to see the real us. We have Hailey saying, my mission is to bring more sparkle into people's lives with my glamorous sparkle sun catchers. I could do a Facebook Live with sun catchers. Is that a good idea?
Oh, I love it. I want to know what a sun catcher is. Hit me up, DM me, tell me what a glamorous sparkle, I don't know what it is, but I think I need one in my life.
I love that. That is so amazing. Well, let's move on to the mistake number 5, looking for new clients instead of nurturing current ones. Tell me more.
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning, I used to spend, and I say used to because I haven't spent that kind of money probably, I would say, since I joined the mafia. I decided to invest in a coach instead of investing in the Facebook ads in that way. And so I used to spend $600 a month and obviously get an influx of clients from that, and constantly be getting new clients. Now what I do is I get these clients, but I really have a campaign where I nurture and I look after these clients, because now I get at least maybe 5 or 6 referrals a week. And that is obviously, a referral is a much better client for me than a brand new client, because they've come through someone who already likes me, loves me, trusts me. And so therefore they're much easier to help, because they already come in with less hesitation. The second thing is they always become a client that ends up enrolling in one of my bigger programs, because once again, they've got trust. So it's a much better client. So I think going from chasing that next client to just looking after the ones I've got and continuing to overservice them, not only do they stay as clients, but then they refer everybody. You know, I've got this one client who has no doubt referred, I reckon, over the last 5 years, at least 20 clients. So as a client, he has been worth, I mean, easily $25,000, $30,000 to my business, which is just insane when you look at that versus, you know, marketing expenses.
Absolutely. And the thing is, what people do is that they are looking for clients rather than let clients find them. And
Yes.
that's something huge that we do on social media. Like we let clients find us. We just, when you put yourself out there, when you do enough Facebook Lives, when you put enough content out there, then the right clients will come to you instead of the other way around. And that's what the biggest mistake what people do. So how did you do that on social media?
So, well, prior to obviously doing all the ads, which, as I said, were rather generic, I mean, I was very consistent with my Facebook Lives and things. I was doing them very consistently. For me, something, you know, my Facebook account got hacked and deleted, and it kind of threw me for a sixer, because I'd kind of built up this profile, and truthfully, I haven't gotten back on the wagon as well as I was prior to that. But because I'm so busy at the moment, it hasn't had a major effect, because I had put so much hard work in prior. Yeah. But I post every single day into all of my groups and onto my business pages. So I have, you know, 3 groups and 2 business pages. They get a post every single day. I am not as consistent at the moment with my personal profile, but typically I was posting every single day. I was doing a live at least, you know, 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a week. And for a time there, I was doing lives every single day. I was also running, as soon as COVID kicked in, I started running free, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, so I was running free anxiety hypnosis sessions and you know, just doing anything that I could to basically stay out there, and then posting in other people's groups, sharing content, lots of free content into other people's groups, workshops and things like that.
And a lot of people think that that's a waste of time, but that's not, right? It's the most amazing thing to be able to gain consistent momentum for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love Gary V, and if anyone here knows Gary V, you know, he's all about jab, jab, cross, and he's kind of like, you know, give, push, promote, you know, give, push, promote. And so, you know, and he pretty much gives away all of his best content for free, you know, and he's all about giving out that profile, and he's constantly looking at ways that he can do that, because he knows that the more free stuff he puts out there, the more exposure and the more opportunities. And so now, you know, his business model and his brand, like, people just want to work with him, and more I find that too, you know. I think that's, for me, where I want to go. I want to be able to provide free services for people, because there's people, you know, a lot of the people I want to help can't pay, and I'll get the people that can pay, and then I can do lots of pro bono stuff, which is where my heart is, you know.
I love it. That's so beautiful. Linda says, ladies, thank you for being so generous with your information. It's very helpful, as I have had to go for being a contractor coach for 6 years to now having to reinvent myself and get online present and building my brand.
That's so cool. Good luck, Linda. It's exciting that you're going from being a contract coach, because you know what, when you're a contract coach, you're actually negotiating your time for money. But now that you're going to start your own and you're doing it for yourself, you can start leveraging yourself in a much bigger way than you could have before. So good luck with your business.
I love it. And you can help so many more people when you start to, you know, add value and create different packages and all of that. So Sam, we wanted to thank you so much. One more thing that we'd like you to share is, what results have you got since you joined the Mafia in your business? What happens, and how going all out there on social media, what results have you got?
So I'm consistently running meetups that are busy. That I consistently have in excess of 20, 30 people for each monthly meetup, which is huge. Prior to doing the Mafia, I had tried to do meetups like this before, and I consistently got about 5 or 7 people. So I've that's been huge. I've launched my first group online program with 23 people, which runs for 12 weeks. So I'd never done anything like that. I'm consistently running Zoom online coaching programs. I've run booked out half-day workshops. Yeah, and I'm doing it all consistently. So in terms of, I guess, the biggest thing that I've gotten from the Mafia has been the consistency of showing up, never ever canceling an event. Whereas in the past, I may have done that. I never ever would cancel an event now. I have a half-day workshop running tomorrow, in fact. And having spent the last few weeks in bed sick, there was definitely moments there where I was like, but I would never ever cancel it. So, the consistency, and I think just having the team of people there, that when I'm not feeling great, I struggle. I will hit you up with the details. It is a life visioning workshop, and it is on tomorrow, Michelle. It's a half-day workshop, and if you want a free ticket, I'm happy to hook you up with a ticket. If you want to start creating the life of your dreams, then come along.
Absolutely, Michelle. Reach out to Sam on Facebook and go along tomorrow, because it's going to be an amazing workshop, I'm sure. She's amazing. All her clients absolutely adore her. So absolutely, you guys get in touch with Sam. Go to her workshop tomorrow or any other time that she's got a workshop online, because you can learn a lot from this gorgeous woman. Thank you so much, Sam, for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I would like to give everybody a option to come and work with me, not in the Mafia as yet, because we have created something that is accessible to everybody. You can choose to go and do the things that Sam and I were talking about by yourself, or you can decide to get some guidance from us. So what we're going to show you is that we created something super, super, super affordable that is a mastermind. It's a 12 months program that you can jump in anytime, and you can stay for a month, or if you want longer, we will go through the basic of creating a following so that you can start your momentum on your social media, go from invisible to at least established. We share with you all the strategy, all the basic strategies that you need to get to put your social media out there. There is content coming out of your ear, and there is group challenges every single month, and a workbook, and me live teaching you on 2 calls a month. So there is a lot for $97. And the reason why we do it at that price, because we are so excited to be able to help so many more people. So if you are interested, then come along. There is no no locking contract. You can cancel anytime. And as I said, there is a $97 a month not locking contract, but if you cancel, you can cancel. You can't come back for 12 months, because for us it's important to have people committed into that. So if anybody is interested in the mastermind, this is your time. Join us and check it out for a month, and then if you don't like it, you can cancel, which is super amazing. You do have to give us 30 days notice, so it's very important that you know that, but that's all part of the instruction. So this mastermind is live every single month, and you get a workbook per topic. So if you want to know more, just email me or my team, and they will be able to let us know. So congratulations to anybody that wants to join the mastermind before they decide to do the big Mafia Academy. This is like a tipping your toes to see what we can teach. So thank you again, Sam, and everybody go and check out Sam.
Good luck, guys.
Sam, if you can send us the link of your workshop, we're going to send an email to everybody that are watching the recording as well.
That would be amazing. I'll send it through right now.
Beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.